She smiled at them because she thought they were fans. In the next 30 seconds, she would learn that their interest had nothing to do with her content and everything to do with her body. What you are seeing is a live broadcast from the streets of Tokyo. The woman is a streamer named Sushi Potato. She believes she is having a positive interaction with viewers who recognized her. She is wrong. This footage captures the exact moment a polite request turned into a physical assault, simply because three men decided their desire for a picture was more important than her right to say no. And she is not the only one. The camera you are watching right now is about to record a pattern of behavior that happens every day to women who dare to walk outside alone. The eye in the video on your screen, Sushi Potato, is approached by three men. They ask for a photo. She agrees. She smiles. She is polite. But notice her hand. She places it over her chest, a simple instinct to cover herself while leaning in for a picture with strangers. To a normal person, this is a non-issue. To the men standing next to her, it is an insult. You can hear them tell her to move her hand. She refuses. She says no clearly. Therefore, the boundary is set. But the man on the right does not accept that boundary. He decides that because she is a public figure, she is public property. Watch closely. He reaches out. He grabs her arm. He tries to physically force her hand away from her own body. The camera captures her shock. She pulls away. The smile is gone. She realized in that split second that she was outnumbered and surrounded by men who did not respect her autonomy. They believed they were entitled to the photo they wanted. Therefore, they felt entitled to put their hands on her to get it. She managed to pull away and leave, but the footage remains a permanent record of how quickly a fan interaction can turn into a physical violation. But sometimes, the camera captures something even more predatory. Pay attention to this next clip from 2020. This is a streamer known as I'm Jasmine. She is walking alone at night. She sits down to rest, talking to her chat. She is distracted. She is looking at her screen. Therefore, she does not see the man approaching until he is already in her personal space. The camera captures him standing over her. He tries to talk to her. She is polite. She tells him she is streaming. She hopes the presence of the camera will act as a deterrent. It does not. The man ignores the camera because he does not care about witnesses. He cares about control that he begins to touch her. She tells him to stop. She says no. She tries to laugh it off at first, a common defense mechanism when you are terrified and trying to de-escalate a dangerous situation. But he does not stop. He gropes her. The footage shows her standing up, trying to walk away, trying to escape, but notice the background. He is following her. She walks faster. He walks faster. She is alone in a city at night with a man who has already proven he will not listen to the word no. She starts to cry. The fear is real. She realized that the camera could record the crime, but it could not stop it. Eventually, the man leaves, but only after he decided he was done. She did not escape because she was lucky. She escaped because he let her go. These women film their lives to share their world with others. But what they often end up documenting is the reality of being a woman in public. The camera does not protect them. It simply provides the evidence of what happens when a stranger decides that their comfort matters more than a woman's safety. And sometimes, the threat is not just a hand or a follower. Sometimes, it is a weapon. In 2019, a streamer named El Gigado was walking with a friend when they noticed a man following them. Look at the footage. It is dark. The street is empty. They turn a corner, hoping to lose him. He turns the corner with them. But look at his hand. He is holding a katana. This was not a fan. This was not a misunderstanding. This was a man hunting two women with a sword. They ran. They found help. They survived. But the footage proves that the danger these women face is not theoretical. It is walking behind them. It is reaching for them. And it is waiting for the moment the camera turns off. But what happens when the predator isn't a stranger on the street? What happens when the danger comes from someone who claims they just want to be your friend? In the next part, you will see what happened when a group of streamers tried to be polite to a man who refused to leave, and why their decision to keep walking might have saved their lives. Pay attention to the man in the striped robe kneeling on the pavement. The camera captures what looks like a cultural exchange in a public square. The streamer, Sushi Potato, is sitting on the ground, likely resting during a long broadcast. The man approaches her not with a weapon, but with a question that he asks her where she is from. She deflects with humor, telling him she is from Antarctica. This is a common tactic women use to maintain distance without being rude. She believes the joke will keep the interaction light. She is wrong. The man does not laugh. Instead, he interprets her engagement as an invitation. In the image on your screen, you can see him encroaching on her personal space. He is not standing back. He is leaning in, lowering himself to her level to trap her in the conversation. Then, the dynamic shifts instantly. He decides that talking is not enough. Therefore, he reaches out. The camera records the exact moment his hand moves toward her body, violating the physical boundary she had tried to establish with humor. But this time, the victim does not freeze. She is holding a green tea bottle. When he touches her, she does not ask him to stop. She reacts physically. She splashes the water directly onto him. It is a desperate, immediate defense mechanism. The liquid startles him, breaking his focus and forcing him to retreat. The footage proves that for women online, a simple question from a stranger is rarely just a question. It is often a test. He tested her boundaries, and because she passed the test by fighting back, she survived the interaction unharmed. But the water bottle was the only thing standing between a conversation and an assault. But sometimes, the stalker doesn't just want to touch. Sometimes, they want to know exactly where you are, even when you try to hide it. In the final part, you will see what happens when a streamer realizes the man following her isn't just watching her stream. He is hunting her through the city streets. Times Square is one of the most monitored, crowded places on Earth. You assume that surrounded by thousands of people and bright lights, you are safe from predation. You assume that if someone bothers you, the crowd will intervene. You are wrong. Pay attention to the man in the white hoodie standing just over the streamer's shoulder in the footage on your screen. This is from a 2021 live stream featuring 4 content creators walking through New York City. They are laughing, talking, and broadcasting to thousands of people. They believe they are in a public workspace. The man in the white hoodie believes they are his new friends, whether they want him to be or not. The camera captures his approach. It seems casual at first. He walks up to the group and claims he wants to hang out with them. The streamers are polite but firm. They tell him they are working. They tell him they do not want to hang out. In a normal social interaction, this is where the conversation ends. The stranger apologizes and walks away, but this man does not walk away. Instead, he begins to negotiate. Listen to what he says when they try to dismiss him. He tells them, "I just need to follow you guys." Note the word need. He does not say he wants to follow them. He says he needs to. Therefore, in his mind, his desire to be near them overrides their clearly stated boundary to be left alone. He proposes a compromise that only makes sense to a predator. He tells them they can talk about whatever they want, video games, anything, and he will just keep watching. He offers to keep a bit of distance, as if the proximity is the problem, rather than his refusal to leave. He is trying to normalize stalking by asking for permission to do it. The footage shows the streamers getting visibly uncomfortable. They are moving, trying to put space between themselves and this stranger. But he matches their pace. He stays in the frame. He creates an orbit around them that they cannot break. Then, he reveals the justification for his behavior, and it is a psychological twist often seen in these encounters. He tells one of the women that he is doing this for their safety. He asks if his friends are bothering them, projecting the threat onto others. He says, "I'm just trying to protect you from the weirdos." This is the manipulation. He positions himself as the protector to justify his refusal to leave. He claims there are so many weird pieces of __ out there, completely ignoring the reality that the only person making these women unsafe in that moment is him. He believes he is the hero of this interaction. Therefore, he feels entitled to ignore their requests to leave. The camera captures the streamers realizing that logic will not work here. They are walking through one of the busiest cities in the world, yet they are trapped in a conversation with a man who has decided he is going to help them, even if that help looks exactly like harassment. He isn't following them because he is a fan. He is following them because he believes he owns their time. But this interaction was happening in public, where the streamers could keep moving. In the final part, you will see what happens when the threat stops being a stranger on the street and becomes a voice on the phone who knows exactly who your father is. The streamer on your screen is named Jadion. She is sitting in her room, broadcasting to her community, a space she controls. Then, her phone rings. Watch her face. She smiles. She answers with a cheerful, "Hello, Papa." She believes she is talking to her father. She assumes this is a safe interaction. She is wrong. The voice on the other end is not her father checking in. It is a man who has been stalking her, and he has found the one vulnerability she cannot block. He tells her clearly, if she does not expose her body to the camera right now, he will kill her father. The camera captures the shift. She does not scream. She does not panic. She goes completely still. She listens. The conversation is in German, so the thousands of people watching do not immediately understand that they are witnessing a hostage negotiation. The stalker knew that she could ban him from her chat, and she could block his number. Therefore, he targeted her family to force his way back into her life. That he utilized verbal abuse and physical threats against a third party to exert control over her. Jadion kept her composure, confirmed her family was safe, and contacted law enforcement. But the footage remains a terrifying example of how a stalker can turn a private home into a public cage. But sometimes, the predator doesn't need to call. Sometimes, they simply leave a message that proves the law cannot stop them. Look at the image on your screen right now. It is a screenshot of a donation message sent to a streamer named Sweet Anita. It reads, "I'll kill you soon. Not with the cheap kitchen knife I had last time. No, I'm gonna bring something special for you." This is not a troll. This is a promise from a man who had already assaulted her in 2019. Anita had done everything right. She went to the police. She obtained a restraining order. The court told this man he was not allowed to contact her. However, the legal system has a blind spot. He found he could not approach her physically without being arrested. Therefore, he switched to indirect contact. He used the stream itself to bypass the restraining order, leaving cryptic and violent messages where he knew she would see them. He sent 25 pizzas to her house to prove he knew where she lived. He called the fire department on her location to force her out of her home. And when she tried to ignore him, he sent the message about the knife. He wanted her to know that a piece of paper from a judge would not stop him from bringing something special. Anita eventually confronted him on stream, telling him, "That's not gonna end well for you." But the reality is that for streamers, the screen is not a shield. It is a window. And as these cases prove, if you leave that window open long enough, someone will eventually try to climb through it. These women smiled at the camera because it was their job. The men watching decided that smile was an invitation. And when the streamers said no, the men decided that if they couldn't have their attention, they would have their fear. The CCTV footage, the live streams, and the screenshots you have seen today are not just content. They are evidence of a system that demands women be public, but refuses to keep them safe.